believe that I, as a judge, I'm so useless, dumb, paluka, moho, etc. And you think you can't get a fair trial from me, please tell me. I'll recuse myself. Don't want to impose myself on people who doubt my integrity, honor, and dignity.
According to Rata says he saw a cell phone being brought in court as an exhibit. That is something that was said by Judge Fagazile Rata. The judge lied in an open court, and everyone else is quiet about it. He lied in court. So you can see that Ntanzi does not stand a chance with this judge. Let's listen to this and we talk about it.
Do you agree with that suggestion that was put to you?
You know what, Mr. Ramsey, I don't want to interfere. This court actually saw that cell phone. I don't want to interfere. Just let's leave it there.
The court saw the cell phone?
Yeah, the cell phone was brought by Mabena.
Where?
Not Mabena. Who's a gentleman there? Ndlovu.
A cell phone was brought here?
Where?
In this court?
Yeah, this court sits here, not in Deep Kloof.
By Ndlovu? Maybe I was absent from this.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. Let's leave it.
Inkosi Sontolo ke iyachaza ukuthi ke Mnumzane Ramsipili ke angifuni ukuphazamisa ke uhlelo lwakho kodwa ke i-cellphone lesikhuluma ngayo ke yalethwa khona la e-court lapho inkantolo ihlala khona hayi court le yahlala e-Deep Kloof ihlala khona la kule court le.
And I think, my lord, you know, sometimes my colleagues from the right, they must assist the court because they are custodians of these objects. The item that I remember being brought here physically, as physical evidence, was a projectile, was a firearm.
Yep, the judge saw a cell phone being brought in court. So the judge has got his own imaginary evidence that is being processed through his head. So I think this clip can be used by the defense if any of the accused are found guilty to show that the judge was not fit and proper to be a judge for this matter. They can claim incapacity or madness or something because clearly this judge sees things that do not exist, and that clearly shows that he's not fit and proper ukuthi abe a judge for licala ngoba ubona into ezingekho. If the defense do not use this on appeal, then I don't know, but I've said a long time ago that the judge is too old to be a judge in this case. He's over 70. So now you tell me that someone that is over 70 has got the ability, the emotional intelligence to listen to evidence that was brought before court for over 3 years. It is impossible.
Hey, Tada, we are back with another video. The page, it is South African Lead News. What we learned last week is that David Mathebula was also arrested for the Mewa case. And he's not the first one that was innocent to be arrested for something that he did not do. Remember, Uzamuhle Mbatha also was arrested by the same police officers. So the police officers, it shows that they did not bother to investigate before the arrest. They just arrest on emotions. As soon as they feel like they should arrest someone, they just quickly just go and arrest. David Mathebula's only crime was that he was phoned by the telephone number that allegedly belonged to Kelly Khumalo at some point. And there's not even a proof that Mathebula was the one that answered the phone. But the police detained him for more than a day. That is according to the police station commander at Valeria. So now, the first problem that the police did was to not secure the crime scene. That is what's gonna help them if they secure the crime scene earlier on and focused on the people that were in the house. Then this case was going to be solved in 2014. Remember that we know for a fact that Maphiri cleaned the crime scene when everyone else was at the hospital. That is crime scene condemnation. That is defeating the ends of justice on its own. That's a crime that should land you in prison for a long time. But Advocate Baloyi decided not even to charge Maphiri because it does not suit the state narrative of the intruder. They only worried about the people that were not at the crime scene. That's it. Firstly, we know for a fact that David Matebula, he had no reason to be arrested. There was no reason to arrest Matebula because he had no reason to shoot and unalive Senzo Mayiwa. But the police were on this witch hunt where they were trying to link Matebula with the mastermind. That's it. In the video that I played earlier, they read out the statement Sifiso Mayiwa where he explained ukuthi yini eyenzeka kahle kahle at the crime scene. He says Ivan Nkosi told him ukuthi there was no intruder in the house. The shooter was in the house. It was a mistake that occurred when there was a fight between Uzandi and Ulongotwala. That's how Senzo got shot. He got shot because he tried to separate that fight. So now, this thing of the intruder was created once the people in the house had coerced after a meeting. Ushed Sibiya allegedly. Remember that Sibiya held a meeting in that household after Senzo was shot, but before the arrival of the forensic people like Mosi. So Usibiya allegedly contaminated the crime scene by holding that meeting in that house. And it is alleged that in that meeting, it was decided that they're going to stick to this intruder theory in order to protect the people that were in the house, allegedly. That is those are the allegations that were made by Advocate Tefo and some people that were close to the case. So the involvement of Sibiya is very questionable in this case because it shows that something went wrong in that house. And the fact that on the day Senzo was shot, we were told that Ulongotwala tried to run out once the intruders entered the house. And then the AVL record Longotwala shows that he drove around Vosloorus. He did not go to any police station to report the matter. So that is on its own very suspicious. Why would Longotwala drive around Vosloorus and not seek help? Clearly, he was thinking about something that he had done, allegedly. He was worried about something that he had done in the house. If he was an innocent man, he would have gone to the police station and seek assistance. Remember that Senzo Mayiwa was driven to hospital by Kelly Khumalo on that BMW. Police were never called. The ambulance was never called. Why is that so? Therefore said that Senzo was merely driven to hospital to be dumped there because he's already been unalived before he arrived at the hospital. So Senzo was shot and unalived at the crime scene. So he was already a person that had deceased once he left the house. So they drove him to dump him there because they knew that he was gone. So which is why they were not in any rush to call the police. They knew Senzo had passed on. That is based on the information that was provided by Advocate Tefo in court. Remember, in that court case under the previous judge, Judge Maumelo. So those were the allegations. If he was alive when he was driven to hospital, I'm sure that was going to be done by the police. They were going to call the police, but because they realized what is normal, they drove him themselves to dump him there so that the police do not have time to investigate the true circumstances of his death. That's it. That is why the police arrived hours after Senzo had passed on. The people in the house only reported the matter to the police hours after the incident, of which is on its own, it is suspicious. They reported the matter hours because they were busy planning on how to cover up for the shooting. So Ubaloyi has been the prosecutor for this case from the regional court to this level at higher court. So he knows everything about this case. Yet he decided not to call the likes of Ulongotwala, Kelly Khumalo, and Kelly Khumalo. Baloyi decided to only call 3 witnesses that were in the house, namely Uzandi Khumalo, Tumelo Madlala, and Mthosi Sithwala. But the main people that should have been called, it's Makhumalo. Why? Makhumalo was the owner of the house where Senzo passed away. So as the owner of the house, you'd expect that she can come to court in account and tell the court what she saw on her own point of view, because people in the house were sitting at different places, so they might have seen the incident differently. So Uma Kelly Kumalo should have been brought to account. Same for Kelly Kumalo, she should have been brought to account. Same for Longotwala, she should have been brought to court so that he can account for his action on the day that Senzo passed on. Longotwala was going to be able to clear the cloud that is hanging over his head, because now the statement of Mngzihlophe says uTumela Madlala phoned him and told him that Longwe had shot uSenzo Meyiwa ngephutha, allegedly. So that could have been clarified by Longotwala if it was brought to court. Secondly, Longotwala could also have clarified the fact that there are allegations that he shot himself on the foot. If he had been called to court, then he can clarify those allegations that were made by Advocate Ngomezulu. But instead, Gininda tried to look for the doctor that treated Longotwala, whereas the subject matter is right in front of you. Longotwala could have been brought to court and speaks for himself. But no, Baloyi is hiding him because he knows that if Longotwala is brought before court, he might spill the beans and tell the truth because Longotwala is not at the right state of mind right now, so he may crack under pressure and then speak and then bring this case into chaos, because if Longotwala speaks the truth from now on, then the case Baloyi will then fall apart. But now Baloyi does not want that to happen. So the best thing is to put Longotwala far away from this court. So now I'm hoping that as the case resumes today, Uram Sopile is going to be able to bring some more relevant witnesses that will help Ubongantanzi to move his case forward. I've heard it on good authority that some of the different witnesses will not come because they are scared of being intimidated and abused, like Abu Kwabini and Makwasonke. So we might not even have a chance to hear from Tanzi's ex-girlfriend, Ulebo. Ulebo was going to come to the court and tell the court that, yes, my lord, I received a phone call from Tanzi's number while I was in prison, but it is not Tanzi that I spoke to. So if Ulebo was called, she was going to be able to help Tanzi by debunking Uguti Tanzi was in possession of his cell phone. But it seems like some witnesses have been threatened, so they are not likely to come to court to help Tanzi. Same as some witnesses from Rustenburg that were going to help Tanzi to show that he was not in Rustenburg and he was not in Johannesburg on the day when Senzo was shot. But those witnesses are now scared to come to court because they know that they're going to be abused the same way Kwabini and Makwasonke was abused. So it's Tanzi will now rely on the evidence from the police officers. So the next thing that might happen is that Warden of Samakubo will come and explain why did he open docket 205, because that is the docket that implicates the people that are in the house, Abo Longotwala, Kelly Kumalo, Zandi, and so on. That docket simply says that everyone in the house lied to the police about what happened. Therefore, they should be charged, all of them. And that docket was given to Baloyi, and Baloyi declined to prosecute those people because Baloyi had his own agenda, allegedly. We know for the fact that Usibiya met Chikotwala, and Advocate Devo alleged that in that meeting it is where Uchikotwala offered a bribe to Shadrack Sibiya. It is alleged that Sibiya was bribed in order to protect Longotwala in this case, which is why you can see now why Baloyi is protecting Longotwala. That is why Baloyi will never bring Longotwala to come as a witness, because he must be protected at all costs, because he's not stable. If he's brought before court, he might crack and spill the beans, and Baloyi. So if Makubo comes to court, he can then explain Gininda, what else did he do? Remember that Makubo opened a case against Brigadier Gininda for defeating the ends of justice. Makubu alleged that Brigadier Kininda stole statements coming to Hlope. That statement was implicating Gulongo Twala, obviously. That statement went missing from the docket for about 5 years. It only resurfaced once Sifiso Miyo had spoken about the statement in the media. That is when the police brought that statement back to the docket and handed it over to the defense team. Otherwise, if Sifiso Miyo had not spoken about that statement, it was going to be missing for years. So Umakubu opened a docket or opened a case of defeating the ends of justice against Brigadier Kininda because he said he stole that statement. But nothing happened because Kininda is so powerful. He was never charged. But it is interesting ukuthi Umakubu yini ayazoyisho if he comes to court, because he knows this case inside out. He even did what we call crime scene reconstruction during the course of his own investigation, and then came to the conclusion that there was no intruder in the house. That was obviously motivated by the DNA results, which clearly stated that all 5 men before court were not at the crime scene because the DNA expert excluded them from the sample taken from the house. So Umakubu used that evidence to then come to a conclusion of which these people that are in the house are lying. The fact that people in the house said one intruder was wearing a hat and that hat fell off in the house. That hat was tested for DNA, and when the DNA came out, the DNA results came out, they said the DNA on the hat belonged to a woman, meaning that it was not Ntanzi or Kana's hat that was found in the crime scene. So those are some of the factors that influence Warofsa Makubu to open docket 205. And then also, I'm hoping that Ramosapila can also bring another police officer in this case, which is Ujwas Butelis, the one that helped Makubu to investigate docket 205. Remember, Ujwas Butelis is the one that helped Siabonga Miya when he arrived in Gauteng to do his own investigation. Sifiso Miyo told us that he arrived in Gauteng and met Ujwas Butelis, and Ujwas Butelis told him that she had been removed from the case because the police were not happy with her. She opened docket 205. The police were also not happy that she did not believe in the intruder theory. Then she was abused for years. Eventually, she was demoted from her police position to a junior position. So that is the Ujwas Butelis that was met by Siabonga Miya when he initially arrived in Gauteng to do his own investigation. So if she is also called before court to testify, then that will help to create more reasonable doubt in the state case. Remember that the defense, they do not need to prove anything. Abontanzi, they do not need to prove anything. They just need to create reasonable doubt ukuthi the story sabo siyiqiniso nokuthi istory sikabalo yahlangani. That's the doubt they need to create reasonable doubt, because the state has the burden to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. So the state, when it has standards that they have to meet in order to get a guilty verdict. So up to far, Baloyi has failed to provide that, which has failed to prove that. It's weak to the point of which these guys were going to be acquitted if we had a fair judge. But now we are faced with this Rata who is emotionally, I'd say he's not emotional intelligence. He says he saw a gun. He says he saw a cell phone running in Kandola, but there was no cell phone that was brought to court. So where did he see that cell phone? Angas. So Ramosapila said there was no cell phone that was brought to court, but the judge insisted with the cell phone. So we are born what did this judge. But we shall see what he knows one second.
My sister-in-law, Mandi Samkize, she was also present when the coffin was chosen. I would like to state that Mr. Evan Koza told me that Senzo Meyiwa, my brother, was not shot by robbers. These were These were the actual words of Mr. Evan Khoza. There were no intruders that were shot that entered the house. Senzo was shot by mistake. There was a fight between Uzandi and her boyfriend. This is meaning that, okay, sorry, I interpreted it, but apparently it's being said in English again. This means that Senzo was never shot by the robbers, but he was shot by mistake, as there was a fight between Zandi and her boyfriend. I would like this matter to be investigated as to who told Mr. Evan Khoza, to be established as to who told Mr. Khoza this, as to what exactly happened in the house where my brother was killed.
Mr. Baloyi,
Yes,
he says what is contained in that statement
yes,
of Mr. Sefiso,
yes.
that's the brother to the late
Sense